Welcome to TMZ Live. As we speak, there is a court hearing to determine how much jail time, if any, one of the doctors responsible for Matthew Perry's death will serve. Dr. Salvador Placencia actually was facing 40 years in prison for supplying Matthew with the ketamine that killed him. They reached a plea deal. He has pled guilty. Prosecution is asking 36 months. The defense is asking for no jail time.
But Matthew Perry's parents, his mother, Suzanne, and his stepfather, Keith Morrison, made their feelings known before the hearing even started this morning by submitting a victim's impact letter. And part of this really goes to the grief that Matthew Perry's family is feeling. In the letter, they wrote, "I believe the man you are going to sentence today is among the most culpable of all. His crime I find truly hard to understand. This doctor conspired to break his most important vows. For what? A few $1,000s? So he could feed on the vulnerability of our son and Khloe. Quote, I wonder how much this moron will pay. Let's find out."
So that is the quote that really resonated when Matthew died. That doctors were that callous to one doctor texting another, how much will this moron pay? And they were in on it for money. I think it's really important to mention, Keith Morrison, who I actually worked with in Los Angeles when he was an anchor at the NBC station. He's been a longtime correspondent for Dateline, and he has covered his share of deaths over and over. But it hits you differently when it's yours.
Right.
And you feel the pain. And for those of you who don't know, because this is so well chronicled, Matthew Perry wrote a book about his addiction. And in that book, he talks about, almost dying numerous times. And he was in the deep throes of addiction when he was shooting Friends. And the cast knew, Jennifer Aniston in particular, was trying to help him. But
I think that's the point that Suzanne and Keith Morrison are making here, is that it was well known, publicly known, what Matthew Perry was going through and how horribly addicted he was, and yet these doctors used that knowledge against him.
Yeah.
And
that's right. That's exactly it.
And they want to make that point because I got to say, he had been facing 40 years.
Right.
And the fact that he made this plea deal, so now prosecutors are saying, all right, 3 years.
And the defense is saying, hey, his career is already ruined. Isn't that punishment enough?
He's lost his license.
Right.
But I can't fathom for Matthew Perry's family or his friends, if it went down that way, that he would get no jail time. I can't see that.
It's important to keep in mind that what he's being sentenced for is not the death of Matthew Perry. He's being sentenced for the distribution of ketamine beyond what was medically necessary. He had a license to distribute it, but beyond what was medically necessary. And that's why the jail time is relatively low. Obviously, if this was a wrongful death case, if it was some sort of a manslaughter case, you'd have a very different sentencing.
Well, he did face 40 years.
He did, right. And that's why, that's why we're looking at 3. It's in federal court, so 3 is important because you're going to serve, Harvey, about 75% of the time? 85 minus time served already, if he is given the 3 years. But I have to believe that given the public focus on this, the judge is going to send him to
Again,
time.
we don't know right now. There are no, you're not allowed to use a cell phone in the courtroom, so we don't know where it is right now, but we're alive and talking about it as the hearing continues. I got to say one other thing, that when you look at the statement with Keith and Suzanne, they say our son's life was being held together by duct tape. It was that fragile. And, if you read Matthew Perry's book, you really feel that. I mean, I remember, it was like he would talk about, he was the most famous actor in the world, when they were shooting Friends. And he would spend his time in dark rooms and crappy houses, in terrible, sketchy areas with drug dealers. That his whole life was revolving around these drug dealers. Yeah. And he would pull himself out, and then he'd get sucked back in. So everybody knew his journey, including these doctors.
And what he was suffering from desperately was depression, which is what he's treating the ketamine for towards end part of his life, using the ketamine.
So, there are other people as well who have pled here. The ketamine queen, one of them, you've heard about this.
Dr. Placencia is the last of the group to be sentenced. So
we did a documentary, which is called The Secret Celebrity, Matthew Perry and the Secret Celebrity Drug Ring. And, you know, it is now on Hulu. And we looked into this, and it is shocking what doctors have been doing in this town. Not all doctors, but some doctors. Kelly Osbourne, I will never forget this for the rest of my life, that Kelly Osbourne, when she was 13,
underage,
13 years old, was getting these hardcore drugs and prescriptions and getting them filled by pharmacists alone. 13 years old, going to a pharmacy, and they're filling this without any parental approval. I mean, it is shocking that this happened, but it's happening a lot in this town, and it still happens. And ironically and outrageously, at some of the rehab centers, there are some where you perfect your skill of being a drug addict.
Hello, my name is Honor Williams, and I'm from Washington, D.C. I can only imagine the immense grief that Matthew Perry's family is going through. Dr. Placencia had an ethical duty to look out for the well-being of his client, and his actions show that he was only looking out for his desire. So hopefully Matthew Perry's mother and stepfather's letter has a significant impact on his sentence.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will. I mean, but although they showed up in court. I mean, there's video of them showing up. I don't know if we don't know whether they actually spoke as well.
Speaking or not, but obviously, TMZ.com, we will have the sentence once it comes down.
Okay.
All right, moving on now. And we got to give you a little warning. If you have any kids for whatever reason in the room right now, very young kids who are waiting for Santa Claus, maybe earmuffs or remove them from the room.
Or you might want to do even better and have them listen to this because it's a crock.
If you turn on Netflix, there are people who are so upset and say that Netflix and the comedian Matt Rife have destroyed Christmas in their household because they turned on Netflix and, you know, like there's that first promo that comes up. This was the promo for Matt Rife's new comedy special, and this is exactly what a lot of parents heard when they turned it on.
That changes everything when you find out your parents are Santa Claus. You're like, my Christmas is in the hands of these people?
Yeah, there it is. Matt Rife blowing the lid off the worst kept secret of the century.
Or Matt Rife is doing people a favor because, look, you know, we're going to talk about this later in the show. Khloe Kardashian's all about these conspiracy theories.
Yeah, we'll get into hers. Those are a whole
but I think it starts with Santa, where these kids, where all these parents and adults are conspiring around these kids to make them believe something that isn't true, and they're going to figure out that it's not true eventually, and then realize they were duped for many years. And I think that fuels this whole concept of, well, whatever I'm hearing can't be true because that's the way you grew up.
But you never believed in Santa Claus. You did not grow up believing in that, and you were one of the biggest conspiracy theorists I know.
I didn't say it's mutually exclusive. That, I mean, and first of all, I don't believe in every conspiracy, but I'll list the ones you want if you want. But I believe in some because I think they're real. And they're not.
There are people who are demanding that Netflix take this down, that this should not be the first promo that opens up. And their colorful language, some of them are using. Netflix, why the bleep is your promo for Matt Rife? Him saying that changes everything when you find out your parents are Santa Claus. My son just bleeping walked in the room, you bleeping morons. On the run up to Christmas, thanks for ruining his childhood.
By the way, don't get me started on the Easter Bunny, too. I mean, there are all these.
Matt Rife's got the idea for his next comedy special.
But it's true when you think about it, that kids are the victims of this conspiracy for, you know, you can say it's for good, but that's the way they grow up, and they think, okay, what I'm hearing can't be real. So that's what fuels conspiracies.
Did you used to go to school and tell your classmates about Santa Claus?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course you were. You were that kid.
Oh, God, I was that guy. Okay, I got to tell you something. I am so excited about this. We're going to take a break.
When we come back, we're going to be joined by the legend himself, Paul Anka. There is a new documentary all about his career.
It is so good.
And we promise you're going to learn something you never knew about the classic song My Way, straight from Paul, when we come back.
I watched the best documentary last night on Paul Anka's life. Paul Anka is one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my career, in my life.
He has had one of the most amazing careers in the history of show business.
You think about it, that what's the biggest group ever? It's the Beatles. They were big for 7 years. Paul Anka was big for 70 years. He has written some of the greatest hits, not just for himself, but for people like Frank Sinatra and Tom Jones and Michael Jackson and others. And this documentary encapsulates this incredible life.
What you're saying, it was well over time for someone to put together Paul Anka, His Way, which is the documentary streaming right now on HBO Max. And we are honored, as always, whenever we get to spend some time with the iconic Paul Anka, and he is joining us now. Paul, welcome back to TMZ Live.
Thank you, Harvey. Charles, good to see you again.
It's so good seeing you. So there's so much to talk about. I mean, the fact that they show you, Paul, you know, at 15 and 16 years old on the Ed Sullivan Show with these girls, Beatles-like, screaming, crying in the audience. And then you see what you did in Tokyo last year, and you have some of those same people screaming and crying. The thing that I wanted to ask you, that I was thinking, oh, I'm going to ask him, and then at the very end of the documentary, they ask you the question. You talked about you haven't planted the flag at the top of the mountain. Right. I'm wondering, is this documentary the flag on the top of the mountain?
No, it's close, but it isn't. Right now, Harvey, I'm doing what I love to do, still performing, but we're developing. I guess this might be a kind of exclusive. And as of yesterday, we signed the writer for the Broadway show, and I'll be doing a Broadway show. Hope to have it ready in about a year and a half. That starts at age 15 on up, and that's might be the flag in the mountain if we get some legs under it. Yes.
Huh. Wow. You know, that's funny you would say that, because I was watching the documentary and I was thinking, this is a story that your music could certainly be turned into one of these Broadway productions that have been so successful. So congrats that you are putting that together. I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
We hope so.
You know, just two things. One is, you know, Irving Azoff was so right. I mean, it is stunning how good your voice is. At your age, Paul, I mean, you sound like a 35-year-old, and it's unbelievable. And Irving said this, and I was just stunned, because I know you, and I've listened to you, but just to hear all of it in that documentary was stunning to me.
Yeah.
The thing I want to talk about is, as I watched the documentary, because, yeah, a lot of people can achieve fame, but most people can't achieve longevity. And when I watched how you did it, it just made me think of what's going on right now where people are worried. AI is going to take over my job. What do I do if I'm 35 years old? You saw all of these sea changes, from the Beatles coming to other things happening, and you were able to pivot. And the takeaway watching that documentary, I think, applies to everybody's life today, because everybody needs to pivot, not just singers.
Look, I can't say that I could have forecasted everything. I think I looked at my life back then in 5-year increments. You know, today, probably a little less. And I just went from decade to decade with questions, you know, with some apprehension, trying to stay current and true to myself. And you roll the dice. And as far as the voice thing, that's the important thing. It's beyond that. I think that I've always been some kind of a health conscious freak, you know, because I watched it all with the Rat Pack and the mob, and, you know, the drinking and the smoking, and, you know, great. They were a lot of fun. They did their thing. But I realized that, you know, ultimately you're going to pay for how you behave early in your life. So I kind of watched, you know, what I ate. I exercise. I do all that kind of stuff. And I took care of my voice, because that's all that I had in having a bad voice. You know, I had this squeaky little teenage voice that was going to change, which hadn't changed. And I said, when it changes, I may be out of business.
So, Paul, one of the huge revelations for me about My Way in this documentary, and I'm going to ask you if you can remember this. I knew that, obviously, by the way, for anyone out there who doesn't know, Paul Anka wrote My Way. Yes, you know Frank Sinatra sang, and a lot of people, but Paul wrote it.
As for Sinatra's retirement song.
Right, exactly. And by the way, thank you for writing it, by the way, because of that song, that's the reason that I went out of my way to see Frank Sinatra perform within the last 5 years of his life. But I didn't know that you purchased the melody. You said you were in Europe somewhere doing shows, and you heard this other song, and you purchased the melody.
Very simple. I was living an international life. I loved France, Italy, and I'd go over there every year, and I'd rent a home, and I knew the language. I spoke it from Canada. I was simply in Mougins, southern France, and listening to a radio at my house. And I heard this melody on the radio. It was a so-so hit locally, not unlike Rock Swing's Deviating, where I could hear other songs a certain way. I said, well, that's interesting, but not that way. I went back to Paris. Now, this was early 60s, and I looked at who had the song, and it was people that I knew. There was a small community of music people back then. And I went over to the office, and I didn't purchase anything, actually. I just said, I wasn't buying the pyramids. It was just a song.
Well, do you remember how much you paid for that melody?
No, Charles, I didn't pay for anything. They gave it to me.
Oh, he just gave it to you?
Oh, my God.
No, I didn't pay a cent. I just took a 2-page contract saying I had the rights to do whatever I want. I came home. Sinatra inspired me because he was retiring. I've told that story to you guys where I just went home and said, wow, he's quitting. I got to write something for him. And 2 months later, he calls me from a studio and says, listen to this. I heard it for the first time over the phone. It became such a hit for him. He stayed 10 more years.
Wow.
Okay,
wow.
So last thing.
Yeah.
How excited was I to see the TMZ got in the documentary at the end, because we're the ones that told you, hey, when This Is It came out with Michael Jackson, it was your song, and you didn't even know it.
You tipped me off. I had no idea when they called what it was about when you called me, and I had no idea because when I started it with Michael, who I spent time with, and I qualified the fact that he was a very talented, amazing artist, and I loved working with him. But my original title was I Never Heard a Single Word About You. I never heard. So when I got the call, I said, I don't know anything called This Is It. And as it evolved and I started looking into it and I heard it, when they found it in the drawer, the first line of the song is, This Is It, Here I Stand. I said, it's lawyer time, right?
It's lawyer time. I remember it. So listen, I got to tell you something. Paul. The single day I can point out, which was the best day I've had at TMZ, was the night you took me to Capitol Records and let me do My Way as you produced it. That night, I remember so clearly, and it stands out as the best night I have had at TMZ in the last 20 years. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, and I mean that.
Hey, Harvey, to make anyone happy is a big deal for me, and especially you. You guys have been just so fair and so good and gracious with me that to see your happiness and to see you deviate out of what you do day to day and the look on your face and the way that you were so into it. Well, just look. I mean, to be able to capture that was such a kick for me to watch. Well, you guys called me. They were teasing the hell out of you.
Yeah,
remember?
It was on TMZ Live. That's what happened.
That's right. It was
and
on
I said,
TMZ Live.
I can make him sound good.
It might be your greatest accomplishment in your storied career, Paul, that you turned this guy into a pop star.
I'll accept, Charles.
Paul,
thank you so much.
Honestly, I love you, Paul. I just think you are an amazing, talented, incredible human being. Thank you, and thank you for the documentary.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Charles.
It is streaming now on HBO Max. As Sammy Davis Jr. said in the documentary, the guy cares about his art, and that's why he's lasted.
There is one other thing I want to get into, which you alluded to in one of the interviews.
Sure.
Sinatra. No. Well, you said it.
No, Harvey. No, I have absolutely. I was doing an interview and a great interview, Nikki, the Post, and it was wonderful, and she was amazing. And she brought up to me what you don't see because it's clipped. I was talking about how I started with them and hung out in the steam rooms, and she said to me, "Well, I want to know something. Is it Tell me about it. Is it what they say it is? Now, you didn't see that. Now, it threw me. I said, well, what? She said, well, you know. Now, I said, oh. Now, I predicated what I said on, I'm not really revealing anything new. Ava Gardner had the great line a few years ago that's been all over the place when they asked about Frank Sinatra in bed with her and what was he like. And she said, he weighs 120 pounds and 20 pounds of it is his. I said that knowing that it's out there. I wasn't really any new revelation. And then I said to Nikki, the journalist, I said, so what does that do for you? And that was,
she said it's a headline is what it is.
I said, what is it? It came out of nowhere, and I just put it on top of Ava Gardner with that classic line. The rest of them, the rest of the 20 pounds is.
Oh, God. Paul, thank you so much for coming
Paul.
on. We so appreciate it.
Love hanging with you, man.
Coming up.
This could be a really bad sign for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Something that Travis has just revealed about their relationship.
It's only been 2.5 years, and you're right. I haven't gotten in an argument. Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
BB Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say, look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. This could be a really bad sign for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Something that Travis has just revealed about their relationship. So they're doing their latest episode of New Heights. They had George Clooney on as the guest and asked George something about his relationship with his wife, Amal, which led to Travis's big revelation about fights between himself and Taylor. Here's how it all played out.
You claim that you and your wife haven't gotten in a fight in 10 years.
That's right.
Are you lying?
No, I'm not lying. Shall we ask you the same questions?
Well, it's only been 2.5 years, and you're right. I haven't gotten in an argument. All right. Never once.
Honestly, neither of us are going to win the argument, so why get in it? Dude, I'm 64 years old. What am I going to argue about at this point? I'm like, I met this incredible woman that, she's beautiful and smart, and she stands for all the most important things that I believe in the world. And I can't believe how lucky I am. So what am I going to fight about? You can use that if you want.
I'm stealing it for sure. I'm just taking notes.
Okay, there is a difference between a fight and an argument. What Travis said was, I haven't even argued with Taylor. It's like, we've never gotten in an argument, period.
And you think that's a bad sign?
I do, because I think what happens is people are just never the mirror of the other person. And if there's something that you don't like or would rather they didn't do, or you wanted to do something that you didn't, it stays inside you. You internalize it. And that stuff builds and builds and builds over time. But what and it causes resentment.
But what if you don't
letting it out?
But what if
is
you
healthy.
let it out and it doesn't create an argument? Like, you can have disagreements and talk about those disagreements without it becoming an argument.
But don't you think
without it becoming a fight?
Do you think people never have conflicts in that sense, that one person wants one thing and the other wants another? They all do. Everybody
but
does.
it doesn't have to turn into conflict.
They've been together, Charles, for 2.5 years.
And I think the bigger
that is a lie.
Remember,
there's just no way.
Remember, the first year and a half of their relationship, they were basically long distance.
Right, but they were probably on the phone every day for hours. I have no doubt.
But their time was so limited. They're not going to argue about anything. That's just half
Charles,
the time.
that's fine in the first few months. Like
you're not going to argue about anything
on
on the phone when you're on the phone with somebody for years. I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
No,
I want to talk. There's a time difference.
Yeah.
So you're not a fan of long distance relationships,
clearly.
He's hard
relationships. Period. He can't imagine that you're not arguing with somebody because you're all about arguing at all times.
It's healthy. It's healthy to get it out. I actually like you now because I got it out.
Then. Harvey had to step aside for just a second, but we wanted to give you an update on the story we told you about at the beginning of the show. Salvador Placencia, the doctor who is charged in Matthew Perry's death. The sentencing went down today, and we now know how long he's going to prison. 30 months.
4 counts of ketamine distribution that ultimately led to the death of Matthew Perry, a doctor who has been practicing medicine up until this sentencing.
Yes, he actually, bizarrely, after he agreed to this plea deal, they allowed him to reopen his practice in August, although with some very strict regulations there, but was taken into custody as soon as he heard the sentence today in federal court, and he will begin serving that sentence. He has to serve 85%.
It's federal court. He will serve 85% of that. There's no time served here, so you're not going to get a deduction for that. So he'll be out in, 26, 27 months.
Right. And that brings a close to the Matthew Perry saga. Everyone now has been charged and sentenced.
Coming up.
The Game, fresh off his birthday celebration where he made a public plea
for freedom for Diddy and R.
Kelly. Now comes his new mixtape that's about to drop. And there's a song there that is definitely going to catch the attention of Candace Owens, because the title is The Assassination of Candace Owens.
What?
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. The Game, fresh off his birthday celebration where he made a public plea
for freedom for Diddy and R. Kelly.
Now comes his new mixtape that's about to drop. And he's already released the track list. And there's a song there that is definitely going to catch the attention of Candace Owens, because the title is The Assassination of Candace Owens.
What?
Yeah. And this,
what?
People who are supporters of Candace Owens, followers of her, definitely are looking at this going, what is going on? What is he actually suggesting here? We got The Game out here in LA and asked him about this. It's not as bad as you think it is, although I don't know that it makes a difference to Candace Owens.
I'm thinking it's pretty bad right now.
Yeah.
So you got this new mixtape dropping. And then there's this one track called The Assassination of Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Why that title?
Because I think recently I've been seeing conspiracy theories and about Candace Owens from herself, self-admitted. She feels like people are conspiring her. And so what it was is more so an assassination of the character. So I just used that because it was current news, but it's not. The song is not about Candace Owens,
Oh, okay, so it's just a little bit deeper than, okay.
Yeah, I'm a rapper. We use metaphors,
Okay, but are you worried about Candace coming for you about this?
I'm not worried about Candace. She said that people were trying to assassinate her, so all I did was say it too. Candace Owens, man, she real smart, really intelligent woman. But if she comes for me, it is what it is, man.
Wow, I just got to say.
So, he's using it as a metaphor.
I get the metaphor.
And I know what you're saying in the current climate.
What I'm saying is that people take things at surface value, at face value. And with what has happened this year to Charlie Kirk, to other people, to Nancy Pelosi's husband, to Steve Scalise when he got shot, and on and on and on, that I just think
but is there
there's got to be a line, and this is a line. I don't agree with most of what Candace Owens says, if anything, but this to me goes over the line.
Does it make a difference that what he said, that this is something that Candace has been very openly talking about, that she believes that, I think she said it's someone in the French government that is trying
she said the president.
The French president she accused?
Macron, I get it.
Right.
But I'm saying people don't dig that deep. You see a title, and there's a reason for a title, and we're talking about it because of the title.
Well, we got to hear the song.
And that's what matters to people, and I just think in this...
And you're saying that even after you hear the song, because what he's saying is that the song is not about...
Yeah, he said it outlines conspiracy theories.
I get it. I have a big problem with this, and I get the metaphor.
I get it.
But
it's hard to understand the metaphor without hearing the whole song, right?
And how many people are going to hear the whole song versus how many people see the title? And that would be 90% just see the title.
I think The Game is hoping that a lot of people
I get it.
hear it. When
I know why he's doing it,
right.
And I understand there's something behind it, but it takes one.
Hi, I'm Abiola Agoro from Fort Worth, Texas. This feels like a very concerning gimmick. It seems very dangerous to kind of play along these lines, especially when we know what's going on. Candace Owens is also a Black woman, despite the harmful rhetoric that she has pushed across. And so with her talking about what she believes is this assassination potentially plot, it's concerning. People are not always willing to do the research. And so I have a lot of questionable responses to the game. And plus Kanye West is on the album. So there's just a lot going on here that I feel like is just very, very odd, very odd.
You know what? I take it back. It may well be that he's not at all opposed to Candace Owens' views. Now that I'm thinking Kanye's on the album, Kanye and Candace are close.
Yeah.
Then you may be right on that.
So, everyone gave Kim Kardashian a lot of crap when she was telling the cast of All's Fair that there was no moon landing, that was all staged. Turns out that did not come from Kim. It was her sister Khloe who was actually pushing that conspiracy theory. And Kim was just, sharing it with everyone. So Khloe is back with more conspiracy theories. Turns out
I love this.
She is fully into, it seems like there isn't one she won't buy. And on her podcast, she dug into the pyramids.
One interesting conspiracy, I think, is how pyramids were made. That one I'm genuinely confused about.
What conspiracy?
I mean, you believe
Okay,
that one I'm
so do
confused
you
about.
believe in giants?
No. Giants, like you mean like somebody that's like 7'5" or something?
7'5" is not a giant.
What are you saying, like 20 feet tall
That's
or
like
something?
the normal human in today's day and age. Giants, they were in the Bible that giants existed. There's architecture that's still around from hundreds of years ago that were like 40-foot doors. Giants existed.
I've never heard of that.
Enoch in the Bible. What if they had something to do with helping with pyramids?
There was definitely giants.
I definitely believe in giants.
The voice you heard calling in there, that was Rob Kardashian making a cameo.
So listen, the reason this has caused so much fascination is because of the size of the stones that make the pyramid are massive. And even if Egypt was a very advanced civilization, moving those to actually erect in as precise a manner as they did, it just causes a lot of fascination. There's a lot of specials on alien involvement and so forth. Also, within the pyramids, there are these metal
alien
columns.
involvement. Okay, now I'm in. Because
Super
how
racist.
on earth do how do people
giant.
back
So
then
when she says a
pick
giant.
up these huge blocks?
You're thinking of Jack and the Beanstalk giant. It's really an extraterrestrial, sort of a
that's what I'm talking about.
larger being.
But that's not what she's talking about. She's referring to giants that were in the Bible.
Okay, her conspiracy theories are crazy.
So,
I mean,
Goliath, after Goliath, before Goliath gets taken down by David,
you can't walk on water.
Goliath wasn't big enough for those stones either.
It's all ridiculous. But now aliens, when you think about it, that if you believe they exist now, why wouldn't they have existed back then?
That's right, and it could be that they participated.
I think that they participated a little bit. There's also these metal. Khloe talks about this in the podcast. There are these metal poles.
We're talking about aliens, dude.
Charles, let me explain the metal poles. They're beneath the pyramids, like kilometers deep. And Nikola Tesla believed that they were used as like a kind of power plant in Egyptian times. So between the electromagnetic pole of the Earth
and
they
these
do
poles,
with the aliens.
Exactly.
The aliens precisely placed the poles.
I mean, if you look at the Tic Tac video and you look
TikTok.
No, the Tic Tac video.
The
TikTok is
UFO.
Yeah.
The
Tic Tac. If you look at the Tic Tac video, which was 10 years ago or so, you can't explain that. Human technology can't do that.
Ash from Atlanta. I'm with Harvey and Khloe. I think the pyramids are suspicious, and I'm open to the idea of aliens doing it, helping with it.
Coming up.
I understand this because I have lived this in many forms over the years. Over time, you reflect and you think, do I feel the age I am? Do I look the age I am? Millennials, for the first time in their lives, they're starting to feel it.
Be right back.
So I understand this because I have lived this in many forms over the years. That there are times
over the many.
Okay,
many.
I got it, and you know what? That's a victory.
Yes,
but
agreed.
Over time, you reflect and you think, am I the age that I am? Do I feel the age I am? Do I look the age I am? Do I act the age I am? And you do that in your 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. You do it all through your life. I still do it. But millennials, for the first time in their lives, they're starting to feel it. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of what we're talking about.
So millennials now are what, in their early 30s?
Early 30s.
Early 30s to early 40s.
So now all of a sudden, do I act Do I seem like I'm in my 20s? So they're asking questions like this. Watch this.
Millennial age dysmorphia is a real thing. I have it, and I think lots of us have it and don't realise. I think more of this generation has it than has ever had it before. I do not identify as the age that my paperwork says that I am, and it's always been like secret superflex that I thought that like other people are getting old, but I'm not getting older.
I think I speak for all millennials when I say like we have no idea how old we are anymore. You know, we really are walking around with imposter syndrome about adulthood. Like sometimes I feel like I'm 22, and other times I throw my back out unloading the dishwasher.
I know for a fact that I don't look freaking 18 years old. I get it. But I feel like I don't look 40 either. And maybe I'm just so freaking delusional. I don't know. I just feel if you tell me, oh my God, you're going to be 40 in 3 years, I'm like, but I look good.
Part of the problem is not all parts of people are the age that they actually are.
People just don't
now.
feel it. I mean, it's like, you know people who are 40 who look 60, and you know people who are 40 who look 25.
What is strange to me is why do the millennials feel like they're the first generation to go through this?
Because it is a lot more, it's a lot different with millennials. Here's why. The generations before us, when you guys hit your 30s, you started dressing like you are older. The point is that we look young because we dress young.
You're the same as us.
We're
You're the
still
same.
young.
You look young, but if we ask someone who's in the early 20s to be like,
oh, no. But, hold on. But this is the best
part.
No, but
we won't shame anyone.
This is the best part, where millennials want the validation. It's like, how old do I seem? What?
I'm just a little curious how old you think I look. And don't say anything ridiculous like 50, because I know I don't look 50, so let me know.
This woman next to me said, "Can I ask you a personal question?" And I was like, "Sure." And she said, "Are you 50? And I was like, "Oh, no."
Somebody recently told me that they thought I was 36 years old.
I just love this. You didn't invent this stuff. This has been going on for.
You guys, they say there's studies that literally say millennials are the youngest looking generation of like all time, and it's true.
You know why? Because they're all getting plastic surgery at 22.
Hey, Ajale from Albany, New York here. And first off, LOL at your comment saying that Gen Z is going to be the ones to change it. I think Gen Z honestly has so much going on. History does repeat itself, but millennials definitely have it in the bag when it comes to, not really being recognized for our age. Because as she said, we're very big on skincare, and we've been in the game for so long. And age dysmorphia really is a thing. I'm 29 and I still feel like I'm in my early 20s, and I'll be 30 in April. The older you get, the more you realize you're literally just getting older, and your body is just getting a little bit more achy and tired. But your mind grows with wisdom.
Aging.
So
it's called aging.
That's called, you just described. It's called aging.
Google that one.
Coming up.
Aaron Paul wants to do a good deed for Christmas. He was in a cab in London. The cab driver was telling Aaron that he was a firefighter by day. He was moonlighting. He was going to have to work on Christmas Eve.
I really want to try to make his holidays, his family's holiday just a little brighter.
Be right back.
We are going to count down the 10 most outrageous stories of the year.
I'm not incapacitated.
Over 10 million page views.
Amazing. This wedding costs between $20 and $50 million. Crazy. The biggest case since O.J. Simpson.
Don't you say that. I know the two words you're going to say.
Baby oil.
TMZ's most outrageous moments of 2025. Stream on Hulu now.
It's outrageous. So Aaron Paul wants to do a good deed for Christmas. He was in a cab in London, and the cab driver was telling Aaron that he was a firefighter by day. He was moonlighting. He was going to have to work on Christmas Eve, not be around his kids. And Aaron wanted to do something for him, got out of the cab, and as he turned back to the cab to get the guy's information, the guy drove off.
Yeah, so what do you do if you're Aaron Paul? Luckily, you're Aaron Paul.
Right.
And you can do this.
I'm on the Eurostar heading from London back to Paris, and I need to find my black cab driver. We had an incredible 30-minute long conversation on the way to the train station, and I meant to grab his info, before he drove off. He told me that he's working as a fireman Christmas Eve into Christmas morning, so he can't be there with his kiddos. I really want to try to make his holidays and his family's holiday just a little brighter.
So he's looking for this guy, and he's putting this on the social media. So I have a question. He's looking for his black cab driver. Is
How
it
many
a black cab driver
No.
or a black cab
Is
who is
London.
a driver?
No, it's London. The cabs are black. He was not referring to the
it's
race
not a
of
black,
the driver.
Just so you know, it's not a black guy necessarily, although it could be.
But you know what's going to happen? There's going to be a bunch of cab drivers coming forward going like, maybe he won't
It's me.
remember.
I got kids.
It was me. It was me.
DJ Mercado, New York. Honestly, going to social media and kind of giving the video out to social media is the easiest way to kind of do that, to figure out where he is. So I think he did the right thing here, try to get the social media output there.
Yeah. Aaron did not say what he's going to do for him, but I'm assuming it's going to be something big.
Yes, I'm sure. What else do you guys want to talk about?
Hi, I'm Georgie from London, and I'm sorry, but parents need to understand that if their child is old enough to be watching adult Netflix, they are old enough to know that Santa Claus is not real. Remember, there's a whole kids Netflix available for kids. Now, I've noticed that parents recently, they've been sort of assuming that all media is geared towards them and their offspring. I'm sorry, newsflash, it isn't, okay? So either you can tell your kids the truth, or you can say, okay, I'm not going to have any adult media playing around them, because if you want to keep the illusion of Santa Claus alive, I'm sorry, but that's on you.
And here's the thing.
She raises a good point.
Well, she does raise a good thing, but here's the thing. If what she's saying Kris Jenner did and was just honest with Khloe, she wouldn't have all these crazy conspiracy theories.
I can't even make sense of that.
Coming up.
Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried had their big premiere for Housemaid in New York City last night, and I'm pretty sure there's a group of people in New York City who want every single Sydney Sweeney premiere to be in New York City. And that group of people would be investment bankers.
Be right back.
Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried had their big premiere for Housemaid in New York City last night, and I'm pretty sure there's a group of people in New York City who want every single Sydney Sweeney premiere to be in New York City. And that group of people would be investment bankers, or whomever the people are in the office building.
High above the premiere.
Look
at them.
Look at them all.
Googling her like construction workers.
Yeah, I mean.
So maybe what they're going to say is, if they go home to their wives and girlfriends, what they're going to say is, look, the construction workers did this when they were building the building, and it's in the air. And it wasn't me, it was really in the air for you to do when you're in this building in some form. So that's the...
was that the hidden fifth verse of Shaggy's It Wasn't Me? He decided not to do.
Yep, exactly. Okay, we will see you tomorrow.